Hey, I've been reading a really interesting book on the history of scientific revolution. And it really applies to the way we do church and what's going on right now in America with COVID and all that. And I can find it in the New Testament. So here's the deal. Science exists. Scientists, under normal conditions, do whatever they can do, experiments, whatever it is that scientists do, to reinforce existing belief and theory about science. And you can go back to Galileo, you can go to Einstein, you can go to Newton. Everybody before them was always doing whatever they could to reproduce whatever they believed existed. And then along comes an anomaly. Something happens, or somebody does something, or somebody notices something that's different, and the scientific community aligns themselves to push back on this thing and to negate it. And then there comes a crisis. Either some terrible thing happens, like a war or something, and we have to re-examine what we believe, or perhaps this anomaly begins to grow, and so we have to pay attention to it. And then there's this readjustment or revolution in everybody's thinking. And now, once again, normalcy takes over, and we do what we can to reinforce the thing that we believe. Well, I kind of see this in the Gospels. Jesus says, take the gospel to all nations. He himself does it. He goes to Samaria, where there are racial issues and whatever. And then we just see this kind of normalcy set in. The Jerusalem church grows. It's local. It stays local. It gets big. It goes mega. But it never does the thing that Jesus said for it to do. There is this problem that comes. There's a crisis. There are people who are scattered all over the world, and we find an anomaly. Very quickly, these lay people, not the apostles, are going around the world, and they're talking about the gospel, and people's lives are changing, whatever. They get to Antioch, and they start a church, which is a little bit of an anomaly, because lay people starting a church, whatever, I don't like that term, lay persons, but you get what I mean. And then some reach across ethnic barriers, and they reach into non-Jewish people, and a church is born. And then from there, a crisis begins to form as that church becomes a missionary church. It sends people out to speak to mostly Gentile people. And these Gentile people are not being asked to follow the Jewish customs, particularly circumcision. There's a crisis. Barnabas and Paul end up going back to Jerusalem, and the heavyweight religious guys, leaders of the church there, decide, hey, this is a good thing. Just go ahead and do more of this. And then there's a new normal until the next revolution takes place. Well, here we are in this sort of coming out of COVID experience that we have. And we've had church as church has always been done, and church has grown offensive to people in our culture who don't go to church, and they basically respond to us by neglecting us and avoiding us and not believing what we believe in. And then pre-COVID, there's a little bit of an anomaly. People are starting to do micro churches that are reaching across into different kinds of attractional groups, different geography groups, different things that people are interested in, all of that. And there is a little bit of church online. I've been doing church online ever since 2002. And so, but these are anomalies. And then COVID hits, the crisis comes. And we're coming out of the crisis with a new normal that says, yeah, we'll go back in the building. Yeah, we'll continue to do microchurch, because that's proving to be very effective. And some people are learning to do church online in some really, really wonderful ways, and it's proving to be highly effective. In fact, online microchurches are exploding with growth in some places. And so here you have it, a revolution that starts out with normality, or what we accept as normality, an anomaly, or what we believe to be an anomaly, and we often reject. And then a crisis occurs, and suddenly the anomaly becomes important, and a new norm is formed, and there you have a revolution.